What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to CM Aviation. Hope you're having a fantastic day today, and today we have massive unboxing number 67 for you all. I hope all of you are excited for today's video. We got 8 really cool aircraft here to take a look at here today, and I hope all of you are excited. So we're not going to waste any further time and go ahead and get started. Our first box comes from Jet Collector. This is actually, believe it or not, a large CRP redemption. They did one in July, I believe, late July, and I was able to get, I believe, 5 aircraft out of the deal, which is really nice because I've been saving up a bunch of points. I think I have close to 1,000 still, which is crazy. Maybe not quite that many. Maybe it was closer to like 750. But anyway, more than enough to make some moves. And previously, the only aircraft that I got was that blue Tulip CRJ 200 last year. So Jet Collector had a pretty good deal. I think it ended up costing a good few dollars, like 40 bucks or so, to get these here between shipping and the item cost and so forth. But anyway, super excited. I mean, it's still a great deal regardless. And we have some unique planes, some that will be used more regularly, some that will be kind of hit or miss. But regardless, and some new era aircraft as well. So as you can see, this is made quite the mess on the floor, but hey, what can I say? So let's just go ahead and get started. Okay, wow, this packing it's not gonna break on this one, that's for sure. Our first aircraft today is going to be this Bamboo Airways Airbus A321neo. Super excited to have this for the Coral Sea project. I think it's going to be really cool. And does it tell me? It doesn't tell me how many points that I used on this particular aircraft. But regardless of the case, I do have this here. So looking very nice, and it was free, kind of, pretty much free. So that's awesome. Next aircraft, I'm also very excited about this one for the reciprocal New Force project, the Lion Air Boeing 737 MAX 9. So this is going to be really cool and definitely stretch the range and join up with Qatar there even a little bit going into that. So that's going to be a really cool one. Next, we have a really large oddball, but this is actually, I think, going to be really cool. This is the Comac C919. I kind of had to get one of these considering how many they do, LOL. But anyway, this is the gold one, which is really cool, and it was like 25 points. So very excited to have this as it's a fairly recent release in May, so that's cool. And then we also have 2 really cool NG models light aircraft to finally get some of these. The deals were really good, like 50 and 60 points. This one went very quickly, and I'm very excited to have this. The Qantas Boeing 787-9 in the YAM Dreaming livery. I've seen this several times, so only fair that I finally get my hands on it. And then lastly, I have the Air India new livery Airbus A350-900. I've really wanted to get one of the new liveries, and despite not having aerials, I still think it was worth 60 points, and it will be a really cool addition. So as you all can tell, we have quite the interesting start here, there's no doubt about that, and the mess on the floor is without a doubt impressive. So with that being said, we won't waste any additional time, and I think we're going to start with that Bamboo. I think we'll just go in the order that we got them out of the box because that's kind of a pretty sequential order. So let's start with the Bamboo Airbus A321neo. So first off, let's get some more light on it, and second, let's get focus, and then we'll talk about it some more. There we go. Bamboo Airbus A321neo. This is a very nice aircraft. I've seen it on eBay for like $25 and so forth, but able to get it here on this redemption. I think it's going to be great. So Airbus A321neo, Bamboo. Every CRP aircraft comes with a label, and as such, they do this plastic on it, which is good. I appreciate that. So I'm just going to go ahead and tear it off in this case, though, and then the label as well, which I'm just going to leave the label on. I'm just going to hurt it if I take it off, and you can get it off, I'm sure, but in this case, we're just going to go ahead and make this really simple here, or attempt to make it very simple, and just see if we can access the side flap here. But there is what the side flap looks like, as you can tell, pretty good. And then you have the top here, that's what that looks like, and then the back, very similar to the front. So let's see if we can somehow tap into this. I might have to start ripping it up a little bit, but there we go. I'll just go ahead and leave the majority of that wrap on just to, keep the memory, and it's not every day that you get aircraft with that wrap. So I am able to access it now. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to get another CRP card out of this deal. I think you just get the model, which speaking of which, you actually do get a card. No way. For real. Oh my goodness. I didn't know that you got cards. So another card for using cards on these aircraft. Okay, so this is going to get us another model pretty much out of that deal. So yeah, this is actually so old. This is like from April of 23 that we have the cardboard inserts on the A321s, which is definitely a throwback. But anyway, let's just go ahead and get into it. Okay, Bamboo A321. Wow, this is quite the moment. I didn't think that I would be using CRP redemptions on. There was a couple of decent US ones. I thought about paying up on a couple of them, but I just decided to hold because, you know, admittingly, it is quite a few, and I like the value here. This was like, I want to say this was 45 points, which I think is phenomenal. I mean, it just paid for itself just by redeeming it, pretty much, if you want to look at it that way, or 2 Comac golds. So anyway, let's go ahead and zoom in and take a look at the Bamboo A321, and this is the Neo. This is a really great addition. As I mentioned earlier, Coral Sea will be very happy to see yet another new airline down the road. So yeah, it will be sometime in early 2026. Probably I've already filmed all the updates for the year at Coral Sea. But anyway, with that being said, let me get a pointer and let's go ahead and get into the nitty gritty, the details, all of what we want to see on this Bamboo A321 Neo. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Here's the cockpit windows right here, and then you got the antenna on the top. You have the flag right here, which I don't even know where Bamboo is based out of, to be honest with you, somewhere in Asia. So there we go, nose cone, and then you got some sort of logo up here, nose landing gear, nose landing gear door. And then the very unique part about Bamboo is that their L1 door is green, which possibly making a hint to Bamboo, I'm not sure, but pretty darn cool. You got Bamboo Airways. It's very interesting with the M right there, so quite a, first off, an interesting name, but better yet, an interesting profile here to the billboard. First class, and you got the rest of the cabin right here as well. Here's the L2 door looking quite nice too, and then you can see here some sort of first class, then you get in the premium economy and the rest. Rather, I should say, I'm so sorry, economy plus right here, and then the rest of the economy. The Neo engines on NG's mold's phenomenal. I'm always partial to it if I have the opportunity, just because of how nice they look, so that's awesome. We got the wing right here with the flap slats and speed brakes, and then the sharklets, which I do have to be honest, I think Gemini's is probably a little bit more accurate, but I don't have any problem with the NGs. Just obviously, I think if they were tilted back just a touch, that they would be just right. But anyway, pretty solid. You got the L3 door back there as well, a couple of panel details, and you got the L4 doors well. You got the Airbus A321 Neo, and then you got the registration, which is Victor November Alpha 589. So quite an interesting one for sure there, and looking quite nice. So yeah, that's definitely great to see right there. There's no doubt about that. And then you have the tail with the green, navy, and blue, along with the APU, horizontal stabilizers, and all the additional details. Right side of the aircraft, you have the cargo door there in the front, and then our one door is also green, and then you got the back there with that cargo door. So very excited to have Bamboo in the collection. I think they'll be great at Coral Sea, and I'll figure out where their hub is in time so that I can send them to the right airport. They also have Bamboo on the underbelly, which is very cool. That's news to me. So there's the Bamboo, just like the other logo, and then you got the navy there in the middle as well. Very happy to have this aircraft. I think it's going to be a really good one, and certainly very happy about the effort from NG once again. So that's looking quite nice.
Wildcat Diecast has some of the best model aircraft deals out there. From great prices to all the brands to free shipping, Wildcat Diecast has you covered. This model aircraft retailer is a game changer and saves you money with every order. Save even more money with discount code CMAviation for 10% off. Be sure to check out Wildcat Diecast and bring those amazing deals to your model aircraft collection today.
We will take a look next at the Lion Air Boeing 737 MAX 9. This is another really nice asset, and this will be great for New Forest. And I suppose it can fly the Coral Sea in some capacity, whether it's going to be nonstop or with a stop somewhere. So, yeah, here's the box. You got Boeing 737 MAX 9 CGI, and then you have their logo back there. Just always thinking about the Lion Air crash as well in the 737 MAX. So all my thoughts and so forth to everybody that was affected by that. That was certainly a bummer. But 737 MAX has had quite the life, no doubt about that. So it appears that the plastic is barely over the side here. So let's see. And it's just partially on there. I'm not sure if Jet Collector took some of it off or NG themselves didn't wrap it up all. Well, I take that back. It was actually sealed that good. So all I'm going to do is just get enough here to where we can get the side flap, and let's go ahead and take it out and get yet another card. Let's go. So this one particularly is coming in from March of 2023, so just slightly before. So yeah, the point of the collector rewards plan for NG is when you get these cards out of the models, and I did a video a while back, so definitely check it out if you want some more information, is to get rid of their clearance but also reward collectors. I think it's a very generous and a very fair system, and the prices are mainly fair. There's a couple of gems, in my opinion at least, like that Bamboo for 45. This Lion Air was 55, I think, somewhere in there. It was not high at all, which is just amazing for obviously what I'm attempting to do, getting all these value aircraft. And if you're not picky, you're going to get some amazing deals out of CRP. And I still have I could have redeemed so many planes, but obviously I didn't want repeats, and you know, there's 2 different Bamboos, there's 2 different Lion Airs, so on and so forth. I could have went down that path, but just be mindful. There were also some really good 1 to 200 redemptions. I was very tempted by a Muma 1, so yeah, it's cool. And then hopefully with these new really good US releases 1-200, I can save my CRP and be ready for those and possibly really cash it in. That's enough on CRP itself, though. Let's take a look at this beautiful aircraft. This is a really nice one, and again, Gemini has been doing really good, admittingly, but NG also always does an amazing job on their molds and product and every aspect in between. Cockpit windows here along with the nose cone. Here's some pitot tubes up here in the front. Nose landing gear and nose landing gear door. Next up, you have the flag here, and then you also have the L1 door looking very strong. Here is the Lion Air billboard titles, and you have the L that goes to the side right there, so that's certainly quite nice. I really like the font and the italicized combined. I think it looks really sharp and very easy to just point it out and say, that's Lion Air. You got first class up here, and then same story as Bamboo, some sort of economy plus as you continue throughout. You have an antenna here, and then we get to our next antennas here and towards the back. So you have one here and one in the back as well. The emergency exits, and you got the Lion Air livery is very simplistic. You just have the red engine here, which looks nice, and the red winglets. You do have the logo featured though on the engine and the winglets. So that's nice. But you can see there's some different angles of it. There's the winglet. Here's the back here, and you got the emergency exits. You got the that's the flap slot and speed brake detail once again. You got 2 antennas down there on the bottom. Main landing gear looking quite nice. All that coming together very good. Here's the emergency exit here in the back as well. And you got one more antenna, Boeing 737-9. I'm not sure if that was advertised that way intentionally or not to make it seem like it's not a MAX 9, but anyway, you got the Lion Group, which I don't know what airlines they own. I need to study up there. But anyway, you have the last door, and the registration is Papa Kilo Lima Romeo India. You got the logo there on the tail, and then you got the beautiful line on it, kind of adding a very unique aspect to delivery. Right side of the aircraft, you have the baggage door, and you have one there in the back too. So another beautiful aircraft. NG continuing to make really good models when they make good choices, and this was a great choice as there wasn't many of these at this time. This is obviously back before all their, I want to say, lack of thought towards popular releases came, if you want to say it that way, but they have done a little bit better as of late, and this is being filmed on September the 18th of 2025 for a reference check, so hopefully it gets even better from here. Not sure when this is coming out, but anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at our next aircraft, and we're actually going to do that Comac. I'm really excited to see that, so I've always kind of gave them a little bit of grief for doing so many, but you know, it's obviously their region and what they want to do. Now this was 25 points, so they obviously had an abundance or just was being generous, I'm not sure, but anyway, box texture is also a little bit different, so that's an interesting note. But there's what it looks like. That's actually really cool. Now this obviously is just for fun. It does come with one of their stands as well, so they are taped on here. I've never had a situation like this. So they just use this adhesive tape, and then you have the stand, which we did take a look at in a couple of massive unboxings ago. I think 65 is when we looked at these, or no, I'm sorry, 64. Yeah, 64 is when we looked at the stand for the first time. I think it's a good design. I think there's definitely some logic to it, and the good news is they are just so cheap, and they're really durable as well. I do have to give them credit. I do have my United 737-900 sitting on one all the time, and I feel confident when it's, you know, on there. I'm not thinking, oh, it's gonna fall, it's gonna fall. So that I love. I might put that on the wrong way, but anyway, let's go ahead and get out the aircraft. Now this doesn't come with landing gear. That was one reason why it was so low, but I just think to get that cool of an aircraft. I'm not sure if this is technically a light or not. I don't believe it is technically, but anyway, yeah, take a look at this. It is super heavy, man. I was not expecting that. That's really cool that it's so heavy. But actually, you do have a insert stand hole, which is very interesting. It's really unique to see that. And then if I can, I think I put that on the wrong way, so let me just go ahead and flip this here. I'm not sure where I'll display this aircraft, or if anybody asks what I'll say about it, how to explain it to like my mom or somebody. But hey, it adds a cool dimension. Let's see here. There we go. It's a little tough to get this going, but once you do, then it's not coming off, which is nice. So as you can tell, it's a little bit more wobbly. This one isn't as well. This is the 1 to 200 die-cast ones are different. They're much more durable, so on and so forth. This one's just a little bit more, I don't want to say simplistic, but for the 1 to 400s, it's made for smaller aircraft. So similar situation to the Gemini and the tripod stands, just a little bit. But there's another collector card, and they continue to change the formats. every day, it seems like. But yeah, here it is, the Air China Comac C919, and this one is gold. So this is definitely an interesting aircraft. I'm definitely excited to have this in the collection. I think this will be a very unique aspect of the collection. I'm going to go ahead and just get this to where you all can actually see that a little bit. But yeah, this is a very neat aircraft. It's a little tough to see it properly on the top with the gold because it just wants to, you know, look like the floor almost. But anyway, this is a very cool looking aircraft. We're not going to waste any additional time and go ahead and get started here with the aircraft itself. Again, let me see if I can make any effort to, here, I know how to fix this. I can raise the camera. There you go. Now you can see it a little bit better there. Not get it so washed out by the background. But again, this one admittingly is going to be tough. So I hope you all don't mind bearing with me here as I attempt to get it to where you can see it a little bit better. There you go. That should be very good right there. So let's go ahead and get started. Here's the cockpit windows here along with the nose cone. Again, this is a very simple mold, so there's not going to be too many printing details either, so keep that in mind. Here's the L1 door, and you have the China logo right there. You have the first class and those various areas up there. You got the Air China billboard titles. You have the rest of this right here, and then you got the emergency exits over the middle as well. There's no print on the wings for that. I am now kind of interested in one of the 400 just to compare them up a little bit. You can see that wobbles a bunch. That's just a, you know, it's a part of it. For 25 points, I'm not complaining too much. The appearance is phenomenal. Here's the engine. It looks really nice. Got the cowling, and then the fan blades also look quite nice, so very happy with that. Got the wing detail looking really good, and then you got the Shotcut, or whatever piece you want to call that, just the wing tip. You got the China Airlines logo on it, Air China, I'm sorry, I get them all confused. And then you have it on this side, you can really barely see it, there you go. If I get it towards the light, there you go, you can see it much better. That is the Chinese way of saying Air China, I believe. And then you have the registration November 919 X-ray, obviously, getting a little fantasy there. L2 door, and you got the China Airlines logo. That part was not reflective. And then you have the APU and so forth. So a very interesting aircraft. Definitely not one that I would have expected to get ever. But CRP makes realities like this a reality. So yeah, gold's very interesting. It's a little bit easier to see, and I'm sure in post-production it'll be a little bit easier for me to see. Okay, yeah, you can really see it pretty good right there what this looks like. But anyway, this is a very neat aircraft. Again, not one that I would have expected to get my hands on, but one that I'm very glad to have got my hands on. So very happy about that. I'm actually going, no, I was tempted to flip around Qantas and Air India, but I'm actually just going to go ahead and go straight into Qantas from here since we discussed it previously in this order. So, oh, there goes the cell phone. So anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at the Qantas Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner. This is the YAM Dreaming livery. So again, very happy to have this aircraft. Let's not waste any additional time. This is a light, so there's not going to be any aerials, but again, just to get it. And at some point when DFW does make its return, and then it'll be very helpful. Qantas right here, Boeing 787-9, and you got the name up there. Here is the actual CGI. You can just see how detailed it is, and then free. Once again, here's all the details, item numbers, and there's top of the box. So yeah, this is definitely my first formal NG light. I'm very excited to have this, and you know, I do think that it's a great thought. I just think that the usage obviously has been interesting, but that goes for ultimate collection and all of what NG's done, to be quite frank. So let me see if I can find where this is beginning and then start to work towards getting that out. So yeah, it's just really tough sometimes. I mean, I appreciate the good wrapping, so that part's definitely huge. So let me see, I might be able to make a little bit more progress here. There we go. Because it actually has a real seal on it, and then it has all this accompanying plastic on it too, which is very interesting. BINGO, there's a good looking box. Let's go ahead and get this out and see what it's all about. Well, I'm attempting to, but I can't tell. Yeah, there we go. We did get it off, I thought so. So yeah, let's go ahead and take a look now, and let me get this camera moved so that it's not too loud. And there it is, the Qantas 787-9. I really like it. Like I said, I think it's a really cool concept. And first and foremost, it is much lighter. And that new plastic's really nice, by the way. I really like that there on the 787, having it at the bottom right there. So yeah, it is much lighter. It's not even close. So I'm not sure if they're doing hollow inside or what makes them so much lighter. Or at least maybe it's just me. It very well could be. Another collector card as well. So that's definitely an observation. Another, oh, I guess this one has two cards. Huh, this is awesome. Okay, so here's this card right here with the warning and item number, and then this is the certificate, which is very cool. They've done some of these for the very, let me go ahead. I want to keep that in the box. I need to I might just start making a pile of those two somewhere because I don't want to lose them, but I also don't want them to sit in the box. Getting back on track with the Qantas, let's talk about this a little bit. So, yeah, if you just don't even think about antennas that are supposed to be there, it is a perfect aircraft, and I love that. I think it looks really nice. Honestly, I'm not noticing it as much, only because I'm pointing it out, so I'm noticing it a little bit, but I think it looks really cool. So I'd love to hear what you all think in the comments. Tell me what you think about how this looks. And with that being said, we won't waste any additional time and go ahead and get started. So here's the cockpit windows right here, and you got the nose cone. Here is the Qantas logo right there, looking quite nice. And you have the nose landing gear and nose landing gear door. Here's the L1 door right here, and you got the Qantas billboard titles, which obviously are that light gray color. They look quite nice, so definitely happy about the results of that. First class, and then you got some additional premium economy business in here. And you got the economy, premium economy for real this time, economy plus, and then economy. I just love the color palette on this. It's very colorful, so you got the red and orange, which contrasts its way all the way through, which I think is quite nice in reference to the design. And yeah, no notes of antennas or Wi-Fi boxes, but obviously they would be about here, but no, honestly, I'm not noticing it too much, so that's a good start. Fortunately, this aircraft has a bunch going on, which would be my tip if you're concerned about it being a distraction not to have it. I definitely would recommend considering getting a aircraft that's this colorful on the lights so that you're able to mitigate the offset there. Anyway, Spirit of Australia, here's the top, looking quite nice, and then you have all of these colors with the dots. You have orange, you got red, and all different colors, so all the economy back here as well, and you can barely see if this is where it really becomes the cool part of the aircraft. But then back over here, you have the engine and the pylon, which seems like it's almost like a plastic almost, and it feels more durable like it normally would. Just look, I think the appearance, I think I'm getting a little paranoid. Wing roots also amazing, and the landing gear are the same, which is awesome. That's huge. So yeah, the back of the aircraft, you can just see how nice it looks. That's just stunning in all ways. So happy you get to see that right there. Just absolutely phenomenal. And then you have the registration, which is Victor Hotel Zulu November Delta. So that looks quite nice. And then you have the tail right here as well, which is looking really good. You got the APU, horizontal stabilizers, and the ROO looking strong. So very happy about that. Right side of the aircraft, you got the baggage door there in the front. Landing gear dual roll, by the way, which is awesome. And then the back one is, I want to say it's right there. It's kind of tough to see, but on the camera, hopefully it comes up a little bit easier. Top of the aircraft's very nice, so happy to see that. And the bottom of the aircraft's very nice as well. So overall, just another really cool effort here from NG. I like the lights. Hopefully they'll do more of them to, you know, whether it's re-releases or to offer more, you know, options for collectors to continue to enhance it. So maybe we could get these duplicates as lights instead of the duplicate registrations. That would be, I think, a good way for NG to do it, but then you got to do the different production runs. It's way more challenging. So last up here for CRP, we have the Air India Airbus A350-900. So very happy about this once again. Very happy to get my hands on it. I think it's going to be really, really cool. So overall looking quite nice, and this is going to be absolutely awesome. So very happy to get to feature this here today. And with that being said, let's not waste any further time and go ahead and get started. All right, that was way smoother. I can't believe that that was so easy relative to the others. And I like to be as careful as I can on the back boxes here because I don't like to damage that flap if I don't have to. So recommend you all do the same, but obviously not a huge deal. And there it is. Obviously no aerials, so it's going to be a little different for how, you know, these look, but I think it's definitely worth it. There's an interesting hole right there. That's news to me. So yeah, the plastic seems like it's also getting good, but yeah, that's a great looking plane, man. That truly is. Honestly, I can get past the aerials for, you know, a CRP redemption. Now, if I had the choice, you know, to just go flat by this aircraft, I'd probably go flat by it just because of, I don't want to tear up the cards in there, and that's kind of what I did. If I have the choice, I obviously probably would go get this with antennas, but if I'm doing a CRP redemption and, you know, my goal is to save some money, then points in this case, but the normal one wasn't even on offer, so I'm assuming they probably had a little bit of a challenge at times getting this aircraft to sell, and that is probably why. And they did 6 registrations, duh, no wonder it's on here. That's why I have this aircraft in my fleet today. So very good looking aircraft. It looks super nice. I can certainly get past not having aerials. This is just phenomenal. It's intricate, it's beautiful, and all of what you want to see. So with that being said, we're not going to waste any additional time and go ahead and take a look here at this aircraft. Alrighty, so here you have the cockpit windows here in the front, and then you got the nose cone as well. Here's the nose landing gear and nose landing gear door with the Starlines logo, and then you got the India flag as well. Here's the L1 door, and no Starline, or oh, it's right here. I'm just so accustomed to it to being there. And then you got the Air India billboard titles. They look very nice. Love the color. Really good job. And I would hope so if you're doing 6 registrations of it. Here's the bottom here, and very, forward thinking design. I remember the Air India CEO really emphasizing that forward thinking and the modern look, and that definitely is encapsulated here. I really like it. There's the Air India billboard titles, and just like the Lion Air as well, just all the thoughts to the Air India crash. So sad. There's the bottom right there. Here's the engine right there. Look quite nice. You got the exhaust, and then you got the back here, then you got the wing and the nice sharklet. It looks really nice. I love that gold color. I think that looks really nice on the outside. I've still yet to get a really good image of one. Well, I might have saw one at Newark. No, it was an old livery, so I don't believe I've got a really good picture of one yet, but anyway, I'm sure that'll change. Got the main landing gear here as well. Of course, they don't pivot as we've discussed previously. Got the L3 and L4 door. Registration is Victor Tango Juliet Romeo Hotel. I think they did like Alpha 3 Hotel or some ridiculous lineup. But anyway, economy all back here. I've seen pretty good remarks on Air India's products. So that's awesome. Here's the tail. Get the red, gold, and purple. It's quite the color combination, but I think it definitely is forward thinking for Air India to have such a bold delivery. I think the underbelly really adds some good detail. That's not, you don't see that very often at this time. So it's really cool to see an airline, putting quite the effort into the underbelly. You got the 2 cargo doors here, and then we'll take a look at that after we take a look at the top of the aircraft, which is quite nice. So happy to see that. In the bottom, of course, you got that beautiful Air India presence down there. Looks really nice. You got Victor Tango Gulf Romeo Hotel Caddy Corner. You got the sparkling gold. I don't think you can beat that aircraft. That's really nice. Super glad to have it, and overall, it is looking really good. Next up, want to give a huge shout out to Wildcat Diecast. Super excited about all of what's going on with Wildcat Diecast. I will put in the clip from the unboxing individually with Wildcat where I will show how good the packing is on this, because the packing was just phenomenal. So let me go ahead and show you all the packing. And I'm so excited to get into this. So without any further delay, let's go ahead and get started. So not only do you have the normal paper, packing paper, but you also have bubble wrap around the aircraft. So this definitely ensures, along with tape, to talk about going all out. So this definitely ensures that the models have the best chance of coming fully intact, and I am very confident that we are likely going to see that today. So as you all can see, the packing was just amazing. It was elite. It was all what you'd want to see. So now I'm going to go ahead and show you all the beautiful models now, since we have covered that portion of this. So we got the American flagship Tulsa MD-80, flagship 2 that is, and British Airways Airbus E380. Wildcat Diecast just supplies such a great variety for your model aircraft collecting desires. From GEMINIJETS, NG models, and every brand in between, there's no shortage. So be sure to use that discount code CM Aviation. Get that free shipping. Get the best prices out there. This was $44. This was $64. Once again, free shipping. It is the best you're going to do in the market. It is so exciting to see the future of Wildcat Diecast. And once again, I am really excited. So that said, let's go ahead and take a look at this American Airlines McDonnell MD-82. Here's the American Airlines logo here on the top left. MD-82 flagship Tulsa. Very cool, unique box design. Looks really nice. Registration number 9627 Romeo. And just taking a look here at the side profiles in the back of the box as well. And yeah, once again, this is a really good looking aircraft. So let's not waste any additional time and go ahead and get started. So you got the new collector card in there as well. And then you have the actual aircraft looking quite nice here too. So let's just go ahead and take a look, everybody. And once again, I'm really excited to have yet another American MD-80. Despite my slander towards 8 releases of these, I have to say that, at least they picked an aircraft that US collectors really like. So that part I will give credit for. It wouldn't be the same if they did. Well, not to everybody, of course, so take it with a grain of salt what I'm going to say, but it wouldn't be the same if they did, 8 Everett errors or 8, really anybody that's not American, or Delta probably would have been pretty good too if it would have been 8 of those, but at least they did 1. That's plenty. So yeah, the American Airlines MD-80, yes, looking very nice. Super glad to have this once again. I think this is a really great addition to the collection. So let's not waste any additional time and go ahead and review yet another American MD-80. In the next massive unboxing, you will see from Diecast Airplane Store that will have the other one, the reciprocal of the same release. So let's go ahead and get started. Cockpit windows here along with the nose cone, then you got the nose landing gear and nose landing gear door. Here's the L1 door, and I believe that's the One World logo, but I really can't tell, to be honest with you. But here's the antenna up here, and you got the antenna on the bottom. And then you have the first class and then some economy plus right there, followed by economy. The flagship Tulsa logo, which I did get to see this. It was really cool. Back in like 2015, I saw one of the flagship Tulsas. It was awesome. Believe it or not, guys, it was actually on a Boeing 767 as well, which is really, really cool that they had such a commitment, but rightfully so with that amazing maintenance base. Here's the panel details right here, and then you have also the emergency exits right there, along with their pads. The wing routes, very slimlined, very streamlined, just looks really nice. You got the APU horizontal stabilizers, all those great details, and then you have the antenna down there. And then you have the clamshell, and then the reverse thrusters, of course, registration is November 9627 Romeo. The American Airlines tail, and then the screwdriver piece right there on this APU. Horizontal stabilizers, all the good details. It's looking quite nice. Right side, the aircraft's looking really good too. You have the baggage door, and then you have the various pieces there. The R1 door, obviously much smaller than the MD-80. You have the R2, or sorry, rather baggage number 2, and then you have the antenna down there as well. So all that looks quite nice. Top, the aircraft's looking really good. Definitely very happy to see the effort, and the speed brakes look really nice too. Bottom, you got the stand hole, and all that came together very nicely. This is yet again another really nice aircraft. Very excited to have it, and yes, very special memories there. And here as well with this British Airways Airbus A380. So this is actually the exact registration that I flew. It's Golf Echo Lima, or sorry, Golf X-Ray Lima Echo Echo, which I flew from London's Heathrow to Boston's Logan. And this was just such a fun time. Very fortunate for this incredible experience, and overall it was so much fun. So yeah, super excited to have the exact registration now, and I'll just sell my other release just to even it out. But GEMINIJETS made for collectors by collectors. Got the CGI right here. Airbus A380 British Airways. So yeah, once again, $64, amazing price from Wildcat Diecast, some of the best prices in the business. So definitely recommended if you're looking for any particular releases. He's definitely growing, obviously young store, but especially on NG stock, he's got some really good ones. So definitely recommended. But anyway, let's not waste any additional time and go ahead and take a look at this beautiful aircraft. Again, super nice one, and very, very happy to have it here in the fleet today. I'm not sure the microphone's still getting strong. I've literally not changed the battery on it, and I've had it for, I want to say, 5 years. So it's just always checking in on it, because at some point I would think this one AA battery that's in it runs out, unless if somebody's magically changing the battery, which at this point I digress. Okay. So yeah, this is a very cool aircraft. Really good job here by GEMINIJETS for putting together such a collaborative effort and a very nice release. This is always fun when this gets released. So with that being said, really excited to have it. I did really want the Aviation 400 exclusive release, but this was the opportunity that I had to get it, and this was a great price, so can't beat it. Here is the cockpit windows here, along with the nose cone, nose landing gear door. Here is the L1 door, and you got the One World logo right there. You got the first class here, some business class, and then we start getting the premium economy. These are dated on the inside, but man, they are fun. But the IFE continuously has issues, and just a long list. Happening dockyard right here, and you got the L3 up here. So yeah, some, like I said, different products, and love the spiral staircase in the E380, never can beat that. Anyway, you got the rest of the passenger windows. There's so many seats on this. It was crazy boarding it. It was so much fun. Boarded that R3 door right there, or sorry, L3 door. That was just an absolute blast. Here's the antenna right here, and the L4. And then you get to the L5, more economy here. But first, let's go ahead and take a look at that wing root. Very nice job. You got the light right there, and you got some slats all the way through right there. So you see all the slat detail. You got the engines on there as well, looking really nice. So very happy about those. And you got the winglets. They look really good. The fence tips, I should say, they look very nice. Kind of like an Airbus 320. You get the back pieces here. I love the red on those. And you got I love the speed brake indentations. They're very, very good. You also got the wheel bogies right there, which are really nice too. So happy about those. So those are all looking quite nice. And you got the L6, L7, L8 door. You got the Wi-Fi box right here, another antenna, and then once again the registration, and you got the UK flag. Is Golf X-Ray Lima Echo Echo, which is super cool. You got the tail, which looks really nice. They did a very good job. You got the APU horizontal stabilizers, and yeah, it's just so nice and durable. Their A380 mold really is good. I really like it. The nose shape's pretty good. Printing's fantastic. And definitely love the engine details, which here's a look at the fan blades since we kind of missed those. Really good fan blades, good spinners. And yeah, you got the cargo doors over here on this side, and just the A380 is such a crazy plane, you know, with the logistics and so forth. And you got the tail size is really impressive. Top of the aircraft's really good. And then taking a look at the bottom, you got the GEMINIJETS logo and all those details. It looks really nice, and all those tires down there on the bottom. So no doubt a really cool aircraft. So very excited to have this. This is a really good looking plane, and overall it will be a very quality addition to the fleet in so many ways.
Wildcat Diecast has some of the best model aircraft deals out there. From great prices to all the brands to free shipping, Wildcat Diecast has you covered. This model aircraft retailer is a game changer and saves you money with every order. Save even more money with discount code CMAviation for 10% off. Be sure to check out Wildcat Diecast and bring those amazing deals to your model aircraft collection today.
That takes us on to our last aircraft, and the funny part is I have really, to be honest with you all, I will remember it, I'm sure, when I unbox it, but in this moment, I truly do not have much of an idea of what it is. I'm just thinking here, and I really don't remember. The last plane I remember buying off of eBay, which I think is where this came from, was a Northwest DC-9, which was in the last one. So I honestly do not have any clue what this is, to be completely honest with you. I really do not recall what I bought here. But I'm sure that's what's going to make it fun. So let's not waste any time. Is it a 1-200? I know exactly what this is now. Okay, I know exactly what this is. I wasn't expecting us to have a 1-200 in this video, and I didn't think this box was a 1-200 when looking at it. But yeah, this is a good one. I got this for a good price. This is like 50 bucks. So excited to have this, and this continues to expand upon my commitment to getting aircraft from all around the world, if I can even get close to getting this box open. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the Qantas 1-200 737-800. I just need to find a way to get enough leverage on this box to get it out of there. There we go. That's going to do it. Man, okay. Qantas Boeing 737-800. So very excited to continue to add variety to my collection. This was $50, yet another really good deal. Just go on eBay and type in 1-200 GEMINIJETS and look for filters under $75 and see what you find. You can also just get some saved searches on eBay, which is what I have, to be honest, and they just eventually start popping up. And I saw this for 50 bucks. I was like, I like the Qantas 737. Want to continue to get some more international aircraft. 50 bucks seems like a steal, so why not? And it's what it was less than that British Airways A380. So typical Gemini 200 box. You obviously got the Gemini 200 top left. There's this Qantas billboard. Here's the aircraft, Boeing 737-800 D2QFA878. And then here's the aircraft as we look at it all around. And you got the back of the aircraft there as well, 2019 release. And yeah, this is going to be really cool. So very excited to have this. You do have the pin on there. Obviously, this was kind of before. Now, the picture looked like this was an inexperienced collector, most likely. There was not landing gear in the picture, so I'm not expecting there to be. There was, I thought, a stand, though. But anyway, I can come up with a stand if it doesn't have a stand, but I'm not expecting the landing gear in here, which is exactly what happened. It does have the gear up, so that's nice. We do have the gear up, so that's definitely a start. In fact, I might have a tripod very close. So let me see tripod stand. Alrighty, everybody, we are back, and we are here to take a look at the Qantas Boeing 737-800. Again, very excited to have this aircraft. I think it's going to be really cool, and it looks really good. So great job here by Gemini 200 as usual, setting the standard. Let's not waste any additional time and go ahead and get started. So the nose, or sorry, this is the nose. Yes, the shape is what it is. We know this at this point, but we have the cockpit windows, and you got the RU right here looking really strong. Here's the L1 door, and you also have the Oneworld logo, which is looking really nice. You got some panel details, and this is where the nose landing gear would be. This collector, obviously, or however it happened, obviously just has the gears up, which is perfectly fine. So it is what we're looking at here today. Got the first class up here, got the Qantas billboard titles, and then you get into economy plus about here. And yeah, Qantas was actually going to fly one of these from Sydney to Brisbane, but unfortunately it was right around New Year's, and the price, it was just unbelievable. It was over $300. So I ended up flying Jetstar 321, which was perfectly fine. That was still like $150, so that was even still pretty high. Anyway, you got the engine right there, which is really cool, and then you have the RU, which is really nice. Very simple livery here for Qantas, no craziness. You have the beacon here, and then you got the antenna, Spirit of Australia, and then you have the two overwing exits. You also have the Boeing 737-800 down here, which is fairly unusual over the wing. You don't see that very often. Obviously, of course, mainly it's in the back. But yeah, the exhaust looking nice there, and then with it being 1-200, we probably need to highlight pretty well the engines. So there they are. They're looking quite nice. But yeah, we have the overwing here with the flap slats, speed brake, and you have the winglet, which looks quite nice, and then the blended looks really good there, and you got the Qantas logo right there, which is quite nice. It's a very good looking one. You got 2 antennas down here. They're both the Delic colored there, so that's nice. Got the beacon and the gear up, which definitely makes it look more appealing. So love that. And you have the Wi-Fi box there. 1 more antenna. Registrations Victor Hotel Victor Zulu India. Chance I spotted it for sure. I love the gray trim on the revised livery. I think it looks really nice. And you have the Qantas tail right there looking really good. Horizontal stabilizers, APU, and all those details you want to see. So that's quite nice. Right side of the aircraft looks really good too. You have the baggage door right there. You have one in the back as well, and all that came together very nicely. Top of the aircraft looks very good, and then the bottom of the aircraft looks very good as well. So didn't mean to speed run that too fast, but obviously it is a very simple livery. But the wing inserts look pretty nice, and yeah, maybe just a little bit of wing flex, but not too bad. You can notice it a little bit. Otherwise, it's a very good looking 737. I really like the details on it. It looks quite nice. So expect a full review on this one if I can even keep it on the stand. So yeah, definitely expect a full review on this one. It's going to be really good and another very good looking aircraft. So with that being said, now let's go to what I already recorded, and I'm glad I did because look at the lights. So let's go ahead and take a look here at the fleet, everybody. Alrighty, everybody, let's go ahead and take a look at this. Got the Bamboo Airbus A321neo. Great redemption. I'm very happy about this. I think it was a great deal. The Lion Air Boeing 737 MAX 9, just like the Bamboo, another great deal, and these two will work great for those international displays, so very excited about that. Got the American flagship Tulsa MD-80, very happy to have this, and again, check out Wildcat Diecast for 10% off, free shipping, best prices, awesome customer service, all of what you want. Another amazing redemption, first two first two NG light aircraft, and they're awesome, Qantas Boeing 787-9 EM Dreaming, great plane. You got the British Airways Airbus A380 Super. Very happy to have this. And again, Wildcat on point, so we greatly appreciate his efforts. Got the Air India Airbus A350. This is a great aircraft. Very happy about the effort and really happy to add it here to the collection, so it's looking quite nice. Qantas Boeing 737-800. Another really good snag here. I think this is going to be really cool and excited to feature it throughout and have an in-flight 1-200, it seems. Or not, one Gemini 200 in flight, I should say. Not to get confused with in-flight 200. And we have the Air China Comac C919 Gold. Pretty unique plane. Why not? Looks pretty, not goofy, but it looks fun, so why not? It looks kind of cool. So with that being said, I really hope all of you enjoyed this. Thank you all so much for watching. Take it easy, everybody. Stay safe. Trust the process. Do you love and love you do. My name is CM Aviation. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all soon as CM Aviation is signing off.